Hello again. So this is another episode of Louis Erard and its collaboration, and I'm very happy to talk to you about the most recent collaboration that we just launched. But that obviously is the second edition of a collaboration that we already done with Vianney Halter. And Vianney Halter is for me a very important person. I've known him since 1999. So almost 25 years. We're very close, we're friends. And I always had a big appreciation for what he did. I always loved his Antigua watches. But there again, the collaboration was initiated by an accident, a funny accident, by the way. After the very successful story with Silberstein, I went skiing. And while I was skiing, suddenly in the gondola, I received a call from Vianney Halter. So I pick it up, I say, Vianney, why did you call me? And they said, I didn't call you, I just called you back. I said, you called me. I said, but I didn't call you. I said, no, you called me, you check. So I check on the phone, and indeed I did a pocket call. And I figured out that I was probably sitting on my phone, and Vianney with V is one of the last ones in my watchmaking database. Which are obviously in the name with the first name first. And so I said to myself, okay, well, destiny being destiny, let's keep it where it is. And I said, whoa, Vianney, how are you? And he seemed to be in a good mood. I was in a good mood. I said, you want to do a collaboration with Louis Erard? And he said, yes. And that's how the whole thing started. It took a while, though, to get the collaboration, I think about 1.5 years. Because we obviously had a lot of things which we needed to improve. We were just at the end of the development of Alain Silberstein, so it took us over a year to get the watch to market. There was a lot of back and forth because we had different ideas in terms of design, but we ended up having this watch ready. I think it was in September or October, and when we launched it, I think nobody expected it. As usual, all our collaborations are 178. 178 standing for being strong together, which is the idea of collaborations. And when we launched it, I think we sold everything in 3 minutes, which was incredible. People went crazy. And I think today, up to date, is one of the most collectible ones. The first edition, the last one, was just sold in an auction in Hong Kong for over $20,000, which is 5 times the price that we initially retailed the watch, and collectors are still asking me here and there if I can find one of their watches. But by doing this collaboration, I had a little frustration because, as I mentioned before, I'm a big fan of the Antigua style and this steampunk style, and I wanted to always had in mind that we should go one step further with him. But I didn't want to do it right away because I didn't want to use that same collaborations over and over again. So I let 4 years pass, and after 4 years, 3.5 years, I met Vianney again in an event, and I simply asked him, Vianney, ready for number 2? And he said, ready for number 2. And this time we spent much more time back and forth, and I really pushed for this idea of the Antigua, but I think he built trust in me because he also saw how we do collaborations. We're very careful, we're very respectful in the collaborations. So Vianney, this time, obviously, I tried to convince him to go into this direction of Antigua because I think this is aesthetically, from the language he has, one of the most recognizable products. The Antigua is his masterpiece in terms of aesthetics, not in terms of mechanics, but in terms of aesthetics. And obviously, aesthetics are very important in our collaborations, specifically if we take into consideration the price point where we are at, where obviously design is very important around this idea of the regulator. About 18 months ago, 24 months ago, and it took us about 2 years. Why? Because it's a full new case, new crown, new bezel, new case, new hands, new new dial. Everything is basically new on the watch except of the movement. That is our Selita movement, mechanical Swiss main movement, with this very unique regulator complication. Lots of people say that's your best collaboration up to date. And I always say wait for the next one, because one of the ways we do collaboration is it's also a way for us to push ourselves with the people we collaborate to more complex, more refined, more qualitative, more exceptional, more unique, more difficult. And if you look at this last collaboration with Vianney, the dials is very, very complex because it's a base dial and every element, the rings, the outer ring, the minute, the hour track and the second track are all applied on the base dial. It's a very complex dial. It's the level of dials that are used in high-end watchmaking, and we use the supplier for one of the very famous high-end watch brands that I'm not allowed to name. So obviously also this took a long time because the design was very quick to a certain extent because we knew what we wanted to do. But the complexity of the case, to do a full new case, to do a full new dial, that takes a lot of time. It took us over 18 months, almost 24 months to do all the prototypes, to develop all this new case, construction and so on. So yes, sometimes it's quick and sometimes it's not. It depends on how much we change. And obviously we try more and more with the collaborations to make each watch even more unique and not just dial, hands, crown, but cases. And this means often much more time in development.